So I'll keep rehashing this topic over and over again. It may seem redundant and tedious, but I have noticed from teaching chord moves and modes and all that, and just in general, that if it doesn't immediately sound epic or something, people actually discard it or have absolutely no interest in it. Or they'll assign it a certain kind of sound, like the Dorian automatically goes medieval. This sounds medieval, or let's just say you give them plain chord changes or something, and there's no musicality to that, no style attached to it, okay? So that's why Beethoven and ragtime can use the same material and sound completely different. It's about execution. Let's do the experiment. Let's do the A major. Let's make this sound very, very kind of childish, okay? Something you'd hear in a cartoon or something. That's very... Okay, well, we can change the perception on this. It's all about execution. So we'll do something like this. We'll make it sound kind of serene and just pleasant. So I'm not going on a tangent doing this. I'm just showing that everything you learn, there's probably something that sounds completely different than what you would think. So we're going to use Lydian dominant again, like the previous one that sounded comical. But in this case, we're going to make it sound mysterious. And this is the fourth mode of melodic minor. Remember that. And we're going to use one of the same chord moves again. We're going to go to D flat Lydian dominant, which would be A flat minor or G sharp minor. It doesn't really matter. That would make it C sharp Lydian dominant. So before we play this version back, I'm just going to go ahead and play back the comical kind of playful action version of Lydian dominant. And then we'll go on to this Lydian dominant kind of mysterious transitional kind of sound. So now let's go ahead and play this version back. Okay, so there's a huge difference in the quality. I didn't spend a lot of time writing this. I just wanted to make a different sound than the comical sound. Make it sound mysterious and kind of transitional. You know, just remember, a lot of styles of music contain transitional music. And this sounds kind of very mysterious now. All of a sudden, our perception has changed. So we're going to go through this. This is my actual sketch before I put it into the orchestra version. And I included the basic block chords, so it's actually very simple. We just have this tritone move between chords, the G and the D flat. And when they transition, they're using Lydian dominant. We did this in the other Lydian dominant video as well. But remember, these common tones, that's what you want to take out of this. You could actually do something like, well, let's just demonstrate. Let's hold that Lydian note, common tone, and switch in between the two scales. Okay, common tone there as well. So it's a really cool trick, and that does not sound comical at all, like this. So the execution, again, same scale. It's just the way I'm executing it makes it sound comical. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the example here. Just break it down in short bursts. Transitions on the common tone, that F, okay? And that's the reason I chose D flat over C sharp. because I could start writing F there. Transition to the cello lines. I don't want to get too much into the orchestration aspect, but that's the only way I could play it on piano in either way. I mean, pianos are very limited when it comes, you can't play everything, so. And then from there it transitions to A major, okay? And the reason was to slightly break from that mysterious sound, but I go immediately create a little bit more mystery by, well, I'll show you in a second. So we got that, the E over A, which is the A is a pedal point, and you notice I'm not resolving the leading tone like that on the E chord. I'm not doing that in major anymore. That's okay. Those are old rules. Okay, does this twice, but the second time in double octaves, and I'm not actually shouldn't even say that. And then transitions to slightly get a bit more of a mysterious sound by using parallel minor chords. The only way I can do this is to jump like this. Okay. So the winds kind of echo this exactly rhythmically in parallel minor, but I'm playing it so slow that it's hard to tell, you know, double octaves, and I should, but I like when you could do little chromatic aspect lines like this in your groups, and you heard that happen in the strings. So borrowing from parallel minor, very common technique, and it helps to give that slightly mysterious sound back again just for a second after it became a little serene. And of course, stuff like dynamics plays a huge role, the crescendos, decrescendos, and so I'm just going to go through the basic chords. G, Lydian dominant, D flat, Lydian dominant, A major, down a third, chords related by a third, that's very common, okay, and then E over A, which A is really just a pedal point, and then F over A, B diminished over A. Okay, so that was slightly serene for a second, then has a slight sense of mystery again. So execution is key, and I'm going to keep pounding this home. Let me play mixed Lydian again, just for the sake of it. And then do something like this. Based on mixed Lydian. Well, two different sounds. It's execution, so that's what we were trying to pound home on a lot of this. Don't judge a chord sequence or even a scale simply just by playing it once and then playing a bunch of chords. Realize that execution is, and knowing how you present something is going to completely alter how somebody feels about it. So you can't really judge a series of chords in any mode, any key, whatever, by simply just playing them and learning them, because there's a lot of factors that are going to determine how it's perceived to the listener. That's why, like again, Beethoven to ragtime both use a lot of the secondary dominant kind of material. And it's literally just how it's executed. So keep that in mind every time you're learning a new progression, a new chord sequence. Don't judge it immediately. If it doesn't immediately sound epic, don't discard it, because you're just playing one chord to the other, and it's not in any musical context at all whatsoever. That's why people, like, again, I'll use the Dorian example. When you show them a bunch of Dorian chord moves, they immediately, their mind just jumps to, this sounds medieval, but Dorian doesn't sound medieval all the time. It could sound jazzy, it could sound bluesy, it could sound mysterious, it could sound ethereal. It's just how it's approached. And in my Dorian videos example in this series, there's even an instance where it sounds kind of comical. So let's go ahead and leave it there. I'll play back the sequence again and enjoy.